We're going to go ahead and start. Your agenda just speaks to the first thing we're going to take a look at. I apologize to the instructors. There's 4 people I knew weren't going to be here, and as far as I knew, everyone else was. So, sorry. You guys should get to hear about each other. You can take a look at the vocational department presentations that you'll hear. There are varying lengths, and when we get to industrial tech, we're going to load up and head out to the industrial tech building to actually look at a couple of things. So, with that, Scott and Marissa, I'll let you guys introduce yourselves, and they're going to talk about the Ag Science Department. I'm going to pass around this little notebook. If everybody here would sign it, I would appreciate it.
Well, good evening. I'm Scott Johnson, one of the 2 instructors in the Ag Department. I spend my entire day at the high school.
And I'm Larissa Rupnow, and I spend part of the day here and then part of the day up at the middle school for 2 periods.
We're going to try to give you the condensed version of what we presented to the school boards last October, but if 2 minutes are becoming 4 minutes, if that's how we're keeping time here,
You're going to have to talk faster.
it might be an 80-minute presentation, so we'll keep going then. Basically, quickly, what we're going to talk about today is we're going to describe to you what the Ag Ed model is, basics in our department, and then after that, we're going to highlight a few classes, not every class in the department, highlight a few of them, what we teach and then how we teach it, a little bit of information about the FFA, some professional support items that we offer, and actually we'll probably have an update to that a little bit too from when we presented in October, and then kind of why we do it. So we'll start off with the Ag Ed model, which most in the profession understand, but most others may not necessarily be aware of. An ag education model really has 3 components. Classroom laboratory is something you traditionally see 820 to 320 every day. We offer certain curriculums in a variety of subject areas in agriculture. But the other 2 areas are also part of the components. And if you notice, they're also kind of interlocked like the Olympic rings. You know, there are things that are learned in the classroom that can be applied to FFA activities. Students in their supervised agricultural experience or SAE programs learn things, and they all kind of interlock, intertwine, and can be applied in other situations. So the SAE is more or less their real-life experience. FFA tries to add the implement of maybe competition and leadership training, and then with the traditional classroom materials that we and curriculum that we teach. We moved into a new facility 2 years ago last fall. We have half-time automotive, so when Larissa goes to the middle school in the afternoon, that's when the automotive instructor comes in and has his classes as well. Notice the 212 bus garage on the back side of it, so the entire building is used but not entirely used by the Ag Department. And if you want to see more of it, stop out sometime.
Okay, when it comes to the department basics, some of the different courses, we do have some very traditional classes such as welding, the ag mechanics, animal science, things like that. But we also offer some newer classes that would be more of the science-based. Biotechnology would be one of those. If you look, we have things that are starred and things that have 2 stars, and things that are just 1 star would be offered for a science credit. The ones that have 2 stars would be offered through Iowa Central for dual credit courses. But again, part of those classes, again, we have 7th and 8th grade exploratory. Part of them are taught by me, and then part of them are taught by Johnson.
Oh, there it is. Forgot I had the animation there. Just a quick note here, we have a student teacher out this spring, and he's recommending that we should consider offering the Ag Business class for dual credit as well, especially since Iowa State renumbered their courses. It would probably transfer in as the Econ 230 equivalent at Iowa State, and I think Iowa Central offers that as one of the courses that we can offer for dual credit as well. And from what he's teaching so far, he's like, this is exactly what I went through when I took that class. So he thought maybe we should look into it. This is still you, right?
Yep. Some of the just basic daily enrollment, Mr. Johnson sees about 90 high school students. I see about 50 high school students and 35 in the middle school. I get a rotation every 9 weeks with the middle school students, but everything else is pretty much offered for a semester down here. And then in the automotive, they have roughly 15 high school students between their double period, 5th and 6th, and then 7th and 8th.
I want to highlight just 4 classes out of the courses that we had listed. Oh, sorry, we're not even there yet.
No, go ahead.
Okay. What we teach, really we're kind of thinking, preparing for the next step in mind. if that is for the schooling, if that is a career, if that is the next class in the department, kind of thinking about big picture as we're going through it. Thinking in terms of agricultural literacy, not too many kids really have a production agriculture background, so to get them an idea of how their food is produced, how it's prepared, how to interpret issues that come up in the news every day, what to make of it. So that, for example, say Katie Couric on the CBS News is not their source of agricultural education. Like the MRSA news clips that were out a couple weeks ago. A good discussion in class one day to say, if I don't know anything about agriculture and I'm in a rural setting, or I'm in an urban setting, and I watch this, what I know about agriculture came from Katie Couric and the CBS News writers. And to us, that's a little scary. Agricultural literacy, consumer awareness kind of go hand in hand. Technical training, we'll go back to that. Technical training to prepare them for the next step. A little bit of financial literacy, that's where the ag business stuff kind of comes in. Soft skills, which are hard to teach in a core curriculum. Teamwork, leadership, cooperation, some communication techniques, and then planning and coordinating of events.
One of the classes that we teach out there is my horticulture class, very much a plant science-based curriculum. This one actually is offered for an entire year, but the students don't have to take it consecutively. The first semester of it is very much science curriculum where we're learning about the basics of plant development, growth, reproduction, things like that. The second half of it, though, right now what the semester we're in is dealing with the greenhouse and greenhouse management. We sell about 14,000 plants starting on May 1st, so we just got in about 10,000 of those plants and transplanted all those plugs last week. And we'll start a number of those from seed as well. So the kids get a really good insight into running a greenhouse, what it takes to manage the greenhouse, whether it be the environmental conditions, the ordering the materials, the sale of it, the whole deal. So, and we also do have the poinsettia flower sale in the winter time as well. So it does get used quite a bit. I think the second half of it, though, is more of greenhouse management as opposed to just flat out plant science and horticulture that they see the first semester.
Class is very unique to this department and this school. There's probably a handful of other schools in the state that even offer this as its own class. It's aquaculture. We'll focus on animal science instruction only with an aquatic twist, of course. There's a lab that we take care of on a daily basis, and it's probably the most condensed version of, say, having your own farm with a feedlot with beef cattle on it, or a building with pigs or poultry or whatever, because you're dealing with living animals. Whatever you do on a daily basis, the animals will react to that. If there's something wrong, they have to fix it. So it's the unpredictable realm that I think is somewhat attractive to students. So, if we start figuring out why our broodstock, the ones that are supposed to produce eggs, why they're not, and to get them to, that's exciting for the kids to see too. It's like, okay, we're trying to figure out their environment and maybe having something successful happen because of it. Because we have the broodstock, there are probably 20 or 30 aquaculture programs in the state. Just a very few of them actually have coursework specific to it, but they'll still have it as part of their program. We'll actually sell what they call fry or fingerlings to other programs. So we'll hatch the eggs, grow them up to about 2 inches in size, sell them to another program, and they'll grow them up from there. What I tell the kids is a lot of other programs are feeder to finish. They'll buy the feeder pigs, the fingerlings, and then grow them up to adult size. We kind of have the farrow to finish, hatch the eggs and grow them up from there, and then sell some of our feeder pigs, and then save some to grow out the finishing size. So we're starting to get that turned around from our board meeting presentation back in October, so hopefully we can get some momentum rolling with that. So the fish fries are going to be a little slower right now because we're lower on numbers due to reproduction, and then of course the sales that I mentioned.